Welcome to my YouTube channel! If you don't know who I am, my name is Aimee and I've been working as a fashion model for over 10 years now. I want to share with you all sorts of stuff, from things like what I learned about the modeling industry, to skincare, to beauty secrets, to fitness tips, my fitness routine, etc, etc. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I post new videos. Before we get started, here is a little bit of background about me. I am half British and half Chinese, and I grew up kind of all over the world. I've lived in Durban, South Africa, I've lived in England, I've lived in different cities around China, and when I was around 10 years old, I moved over here to Singapore, and I have been here pretty much ever since. A lot of people think I'm half Singaporean, and it is a little bit confusing because my mom is originally from Shanghai, and up until about a few months ago, she finally got her Singapore citizenship. To get that, she had to give up her Chinese citizenship. So I'm not too sure what I should say now. So I'm just gonna say I have Chinese. Good enough. So, my modeling story. I was first scouted when I was walking around this mall in Singapore when I was 13 years old. I remember distinctly it was after a piano lesson. I'm Chinese, guys. This guy basically walked up to me and my mom and asked if I was interested in being a model, and I was like an awkward 13-year-old, so I was like... I went to the agency a few days later, and that's where I met my booker, Bonita, and I've basically been with her since I was 13. I did my first photo shoot when I was 13 or 14, and I played a background person in an office, and I basically had to walk back and forth in these shoes that were just way too small, and they were so painful. And I had to do that for like 6 hours. Oh my god, I remember leaving the set and I was like, wow, I hate this so much and this sucks. I really wasn't into it. Since starting high school, my booker had been trying to get me to come in for training. Probably went to like 2 training sessions. She had me do some test shoots as well, and I absolutely detested doing them because I didn't know how to pose. I didn't know how to even move in front of a camera. I was so awkward, and I don't know, I just really didn't like it. I remember my first solo job was for this local accessory jewelry brand called Chamalon. I showed up like an hour late because I got super lost, and yeah, I think at the time I was 14. Wow, I was just a horrible model back then. From the ages of 14 to 17, I did shoots every now and then. A really exciting one that I did though was for AccuView Moist, because that one actually ended up showing up around stores in Singapore, and it actually showed up in Malaysia and in Korea at one point, I think. And so my friends would kind of like take photos of it. I also got to practice posing in front of the camera with some e-com shoots, and some of the ones that I did in the past were for Editor's Market and Love Bonito. I never really prioritized shoots because I was in high school and I was like, oh, I don't want to spend 4 hours of my weekend doing a photo shoot. I would rather hang out with my friends and do this and do that and go to the movies or whatever. But as I was nearing the end of high school and I had to apply into university, I realized I didn't really know what it was that I wanted to study. And so my parents suggested I take a gap year and take some time off to maybe model, travel a bit, kind of figure out what it was that I actually wanted to study before going into university. This was kind of a really weird, out of the norm decision, and out of the 300 something people who were in my graduating class in high school, I think there were only 3 or 4 people who decided to not go straight into university right away, other than those who had to serve in the army in Singapore. So yes, this was a pretty bold decision, but it turned out to be an awesome one. 2 weeks after graduating high school, I took my first solo trip to Hong Kong to work for 3 months. I was still 17 then, and it was a rough trip. I had never traveled anywhere by myself before, and suddenly I found myself in Hong Kong all by myself at 11 p.m. at night, waiting in front of this super dodgy apartment building for the landlord to come and open and let me into this tiny studio apartment. Oh, I should explain. Normally when models go to Hong Kong, or go anywhere actually for a placement, the agency normally would have a model apartment that they rent out to models who are working for them. But when I got there, the model apartment was actually full, so they set me up in a single studio apartment. I had no phone data, I had no connection, I had no SIM card. How did my parents even let this happen? I'll be talking more about what it was like to do a placement in Hong Kong in another video probably later, but that was my first modeling placement. That's what it's called. 3 months later, I went back to Singapore having made basically no money at all. I was really new. I had acne. I was just so not good at my job. Fast forward to 2 weeks after that, and I flew to Taipei, and oh my god, this is a crazy story. I will definitely tell you guys about this later on because it was basically like the worst experience of my life. I was in Taipei for only 3 weeks before my agent Bonita saved my ass and got me back to Singapore. After I got back, I worked in Singapore for a couple months, and that's when I really started to fall in love with modeling. I initially decided to defer my university for a year, but year after year I realized there were so many more opportunities that I wanted to grab, and so I kept deferring that more and more. So for the next 3 years I went on placements in Paris, Milan, Bangkok, and Hong Kong a couple more times after that, and traveled to cities like Amsterdam, Berlin, Cape Town, Kuala Lumpur, London for shoots and whatnot. I started to shoot campaigns and work with magazines and do runways and fashion weeks, and it has honestly just been a complete whirlwind of work since then. I just keep thinking to myself, how lucky am I that I actually found something that I love to do that I get to do every single day. So during those 3 years where I did full-time modeling, one of the super exciting projects that I became a part of, which some of you guys may have seen, is Aegis Next Top Model Cycle 3. My little sister Hannah was the one who kind of kept annoying the shit out of me, telling me to apply for it online. Luckily, I got selected as one of the contestants, and I represented Singapore because I grew up here, I found my identity here, all my friends are here, my family is here, basically everything of mine is in Singapore. It was a really cool experience being on a reality TV show. I went in without any expectations and just kind of did my best and let things happen the way that they were meant to happen, and somehow I made it to the finals. It's weird though because I remember getting the call from the producer right as I got back from my placement in Bangkok. I was literally still at the airport and he told me that I got selected, and I was a bit like, I don't know if I want to do it. It's kind of scary. Thank goodness my family, who was always so supportive of everything that I did, slapped some sense into me because my life completely changed after that show. By the way, if you're one of my followers who have been with me since Aegis Next Top Model, thank you so much for everything. Your support means the absolute world to me. Thank you for supporting me on the show. Thank you for rooting for me. Thank you for supporting my career ever since then. Thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful every single day. Aegis Next Top Model did open a lot of opportunities for me, and I worked as a full-time model for a little over a year after that before going into university. For the last 3 years since filming this video, I have been in university in London, and when I first got there I had to somehow find a way to balance both modeling and school so that I'm able to keep up my work and also do my absolute best in university. It was a little bit touch and go there at the beginning, so for me to find a middle ground where I didn't have to half-ass both modeling and studying and do both to the level that I wanted to was very challenging at first, but eventually I kind of figured out the balance. I was able to do well in both. I have just graduated from uni, and if I can brag a little bit, I graduated top of my class, which I found crazy. I mean, all those all-nighters and writing essays on the plane and, you know, studying on set literally with Quizlet while they were testing the lighting before a photoshoot. All of that culminated into this final accomplishment that I have been wanting to achieve since I was in grade school. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you are somebody who wants to go into modeling but you're worried that, you know, you're not going to be able to go to school, that definitely shouldn't be something that stands in your way. If modeling or acting or whatever it is that you want to pursue is truly something that you're passionate about, you will make the difficult sacrifices that you know you have to make so that you're able to achieve what it is you want to achieve. When there's a will, there's a way. Cheesy, but true. So my university graduation was about 6 months ago, and so now I'm back. And now I guess another milestone would be starting this YouTube. It's actually super scary to start fresh on a completely new platform because it is a completely new way of putting yourself out there. But hey, why not, right? I mean, this is just for fun. I think I will end my first video here. I've been talking for quite a while. Before I sign off, I do want to say, if there is something that you've always wanted to achieve, you've been too scared to start, whatever it is, just go for it. Everything you do should be in service of your ultimate goal. I don't even know what my life would be like if I went to university straight after high school, or if I didn't go for Aegis Excel model. It's just absolutely crazy to think about. When a decision is really scary, you know, you kind of want to do it, you're kind of scared to do it, that's when you know you have to. How can you be sure that staying where you are is better than what you could actually end up achieving? Something to think about. But anyway, that is all for today. Now I need to say the things I hear all YouTubers say. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Seriously though, thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for your support always, and please give me ideas for new videos. I am going to run off to a meeting now, but I'll see you guys very soon.